This is the Policy Council. My name is Okweme Agbaje. This week we're talking about corruption. Corruption appears to be a plague, an epidemic, a cancer that is destroying Nigeria. Every week we hear staggering allegations of corruption about pension money, about subsidy money, about from ministries, from departments, all sorts of revelations. The mood and the anger about corruption is rising amongst our people. What can we do about this? How did we get here? What are the solutions? What must the system do to save itself from a possible catastrophe if corruption continues to ravage the land? This week I have guests on the program, distinguished people who have committed themselves publicly to do something against corruption, to talk about this topic. I don't know whether you could enjoy the program, but the point is, decide what to do about corruption. This is still the Policy Council. My guest, Mr. Eyis Eyenye, he founded Stand Against Corruption and Kleptocrats, SAC, and of course, Comrade Debo Adenilo.
That's right.
The founder of CACOR, Coalition Against Corrupt Leaders. How do you see corruption in Nigeria?
Corruption is a canker that's eaten deep into the fabrics of every sector of our economy. It has claimed more lives than any disease you can ever talk about. It has claimed life more than any wars or insurgents that you have ever witnessed in Nigeria. Because every day people die in droves, due to the effect of corruption from different sectors. The police cannot help us because they are corrupt. So armed robbers and other gangsters, they mow down people everywhere they find them. You cannot drive freely on our roads. There are roads have turned to death traps everywhere you go. You run to traffic every time. Even when you are in a hurry to save a life, you won't be able to get there. You get to the hospital, you don't have the kind of help that you desire because the doctors are not well motivated. The hospitals lack equipment, they lack materials, they lack medicine, they lack all those little things that can support life. Our children are being miseducated because there are no facilities, there are no equipment, there are no materials. The staff there are not motivated to do what they are. So implementation of curriculum at the level of education is half-baked. Most of the time you turn out unemployable graduates. Most of those who learn some trade that require power to power their equipment do not get it. People who are really working are no longer conscientious because they are not sure that when they retire, they are going to have their pensions paid on time. And that is why Nigeria, instead of developing, is actually receding quickly. That corruption is a monster, that has to be combated. And whoever stands on the way of Nigeria will have to go down the drain with it.
Yes.
Corruption is also a threat to our future, to our posterity. We're actually of our grandchildren and the future of this nation. I believe that corruption is actually a bigger threat to Nigeria than Boko Haram or terrorism. Because, this is terrorism against the Nigerian people being perpetrated by those who are supposedly our leaders. Corruption is not a Nigerian problem, but it's a human problem. I mean, there are corrupt Americans, there are corrupt Britons, there are corrupt Frenchmen. But the problem in our society is the fact that this issue of impunity, like
corruption never gets punished.
It never gets punished.
In fact, it gets exalted.
Exactly. The fact is that our system does not punish. Like you said, it actually rewards those that are corrupt. I mean, and this is where the tragedy really is. There's something that for me has been very worrisome. The very fact that as of today, the president of Nigeria, who declared his assets, made them public in 2007 as vice president, has not done so this time around. Why is this important? Because it's a signal of transparency. I'm willing and ready to be transparent about my own income and about my own resources. And that makes a clear statement that I am not ready to tolerate corruption. We must have zero tolerance for corruption.
Zero tolerance for corruption, and we'll be right back. You're welcome back, and we're still talking about corruption, but what are the solutions? What can maybe civil society, if not government? I mean, you have formed SAC. You have been known to have formed the GACACO. What can we do as Nigerians?
One, somebody has said that we need to organize. Everybody has to organize around one issue or the other. And all these issues will have to tackle corruption. No matter when we have to get in the UK, even when Mr. Justice Masaya Wokulehin has quashed, 170 count charge against Ibori in the Federal High Court Asaba Division. And on that, the Coalition Against Corrupt Leaders actually forced the court to step down the delivery of its ruling on that, trial, which never took place anyway. And we wrote 3 petitions, and 2 times the trial judge was queried, and when he was to deliver the judgment, the NJC didn't allow him to deliver the judgment because of the petition we wrote. Eventually, our petition was thrown out. They said it was lacking merit. But the observations that we have made then has now been vindicated in the United Kingdom. We were in Dubai with them. We were also in the United Kingdom. Our people are still in the United Kingdom following up the case because the repatriation of the proceeds of corruption must be monitored. So the institutions need to be strengthened, and those to head it should be independent.
What's the philosophy and approach of SAC?
The difference in the approach of SAC is the fact that we recognize that there's a social dimension, there's an ethical dimension to this anti-corruption war. If you talk to the average Nigerian, you find that the people tell you that, a governor is performing or some chairman of local government is performing, it doesn't matter if he steals the public funds. That tells you something about our mindset, about our value system that has somehow become warped over time. In hip-hop song, somebody is glamorizing Yahoo and 419 and all those things. This corruption thing has kept to our culture so that there is now people only to think about the corruption in the government, about what the governor is doing, about what the president is doing, about what senators are doing.
What they are doing.
And not what they are doing. So we are saying that the most
exactly. Or churches.
So it really starts with the man in the mirror. Because it's hypocrisy for you to be talking against corruption when you don't say anything wrong. I mean, you go out to the streets and you didn't take your vehicle particulars, and then you pay a little bribe to the policeman to let you go. This little manifestation says something about our society. So that's why we must recreate our value system, starting from even the schools. Teach morality. Teach the dignity of labor. these little things matter because these are the things that will manifest if these children were raising, grew up in this environment where it has become acceptable to be corrupt and to be stealing public funds. Can you imagine what will happen in 25 years' time, in 30 years' time, what kind of nation we'll have at that time? So we must come to a point where we are all tired of corruption. We are reaching a precipice where, I really fear for our country on account of this matter, the system.
The message from Eis and Debo, two people who have chosen to oppose corruption, is that Nigerians have to rise against it. And the government and those in the institutions concerned with corruption and the people of Nigeria have to recognize that if we don't destroy corruption, it will destroy us.